I call the Committee on Audit and Compliance in order, to order, sorry. We'll take up the following item for approval. Action item 1A is the approval of the minutes of the January 27th, 2025 meeting. I move the approval of action 1A.
Second.
Okay. Do I have a second?
No, he said,
Wait,
Professor
second.
Benton.
Who was the initial?
You moved,
I
he
moved, he
seconded.
seconded, okay.
You're all good.
What an education. Okay, thank you. Do I, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that is moved and
Approved.
approved. Okay, policy calendar. I would now like to address action item 1B1, the policy calendar. 1B1 is a resolution to approve fiscal year 2025 external audit plan. The university's external audit, Grant Thornton, meets with the management and those charged with governance each year to review and discuss the proposed audit plan. This plan includes the scope, areas of focus, and timing of the financial statement and federal program audits. The university requests that the Board of Trustees approve the fiscal 2025 external audit plan presented by Grant Thornton LLP. Claire Eston, partner, Stan Dioguardi, home team guy, Dioguardi. Okay. Senior manager and, I'm sorry, I'm gonna mess this one up, Sana Sheik.
You got it perfect.
I got it right, thank you. Manager from Grant Thornton will provide a presentation summarizing the fiscal year 2025 external audit plan. So it's all yours now.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having us. It's great to see all of you here today. So as was stated, our intention is to present the plan for FY25, the audit. We'll go through the timing, the areas of focus, and really just, most of it is to entertain any questions from the committee on what our audit plan is, if you have any questions. And this is an opportunity now, but if something comes up during the course of the audit, because it's a bit of a long cycle between now and when we actually finish in end of October. But if you have questions on our scope, areas of focus, anything like that, we welcome any questions that you have. So we have put together this presentation. It's a high level. It's informed by the discussions that we've had with management around what's new and different this year at CUNY. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are new and different every year, but what we're focused on are the things that are new and different that will ultimately manifest themselves in the financial statements and therefore potentially have an impact on what we're doing from an audit perspective. So they've been able to provide us updates. We talk pretty regularly, and our plan is informed by that information as well as just generally what's going on in the industry and higher education. There's obviously a lot going on with respect to various aspects of operations of higher ed, so that informs our audit scope. There's a couple of new accounting pronouncements this year that we'll touch on briefly. I don't think they'll have a huge impact like pervasively to the financial statements, but we'll talk about that a little bit as well. And I will let Steve take it from here before I steal his thunder.
Thank you, Heather. So first I'll go through our audit timeline and scope. So our audit timeline and scope is designed for us to really this year getting back on track, right? So we want to be, our goal with management is to be issuing the university-wide financial statements by that October 31st deadline. And we're planning to, to get to that point. We've been meeting with management, as Claire mentioned, earlier than we have before, so that we're prepared to get started in the summer months for our site visits with the various different colleges and schools. After October 31st, we also then plan to issue the senior college's financial statement as well as the uniform guidance audit report. I'm going to briefly talk through our significant risks and our areas of audit focus. The significant risks and areas of audit focus are consistent with prior year, with the exception of two items that I want to talk through. The first being around the capital assets. Coming out of our audit last year, there was a material weakness that was identified around the capitalization of assets. And for the fiscal year 25 audit, our responsibility as auditors is to, coming out of that material weakness, is to understand what management is doing to remediate that weakness, the material weakness, and also develop our audit plan and adjust the scope of our procedures to make sure that we're appropriately testing where that weakness was. So we're going to be performing additional tests around the capitalization of assets, construction in progress, as well as the plant and maintenance expenses. The other area that I want to bring attention to is accounting, adoption of new accounting pronouncements. As Claire mentioned, there's two accounting pronouncements this year. I want to focus on GASB 101, which is compensated absences. Management is in the process of evaluating the scope and extent of the adoption of this new pronouncement. And as auditors, our responsibility is to review management's adoption, as well as test and audit any of the underlying support that they develop in adopting this pronouncement. And with that, I will then, the other last thing here, technology and audit support is part of our audit process. So as part of our audit, we have internally we have our audit, our information technology specialists come in and review the design of the IT environment and also test the design effectiveness over the IT environment. And with that, I will turn it over to Sana, who's going to speak through the area of focus around single audit.
So for single audit, the major program is student financial aid, which you'll see is pretty consistent with the last 2 years. For this year, there was FEMA funding, which the amount is still being reconciled, so our team is working to determine whether this will be in scope for 2025. And I'll turn it back to Claire.
Thank you, Sana. So we'll update the committee regarding the FEMA program and whether it needs to be audited when we meet back in the fall. And in terms of the areas of focus for the uniform guidance audit, it's consistent with what it is every year. It's determined by the government what we need to test and focuses on compliance and internal controls. So there was a bunch of material in the appendix. I won't go through it unless there's questions that members of the committee had, but that concludes our formal remarks on the audit plan.
Okay, then I move the approval of policy item 1B1. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, but I had a question too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Are you, your counterparties in the federal government now that you get guidance from, do they answer the phone?
No.
I mean, are they, is there, what is happening on the other side of the log
Well-
in this relationship?
So, in theory, every year we will get guidance from the federal government in the spring. It usually comes out in May or June. It's called the Compliance Supplement, and that is the guidance that the federal government comes out. It's a reflection of all the agencies, including the Department of Education.
Okay.
And all of the other agencies, NIH, every other agency that provides federal awards, FEMA, HHS, I guess, or not, Homeland Security. So they are working right now on putting that guidance out. If I were a betting woman, I would say it's probably not going to change very much because there's not a lot of people in these departments to make changes. So path of least resistance is just do what they did last year. We're still waiting to see what the guidance is. But this is, it's not late yet. It should be coming out any day now. There is an email inbox that we can send questions
Sure,
to.
yeah, okay, no.
It's laid awful early.
Yeah.
Another question, looking at this meeting last year, this submission also included the packet of materials about the state of the of the field.
It's there. It's number 2, industry updates.
I see. We didn't get a copy of this.
Okay,
Would we be getting a copy of it after the meeting?
yes.
Yes.
Because it's really interesting and
Yes,
really
absolutely.
useful, and some items I have thought, I have wanted to circulate to campus-level governance bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay, or are we supposed to just keep it
No, that's
close to
fine.
the, I mean, you've provided an excellent resource, and I want to be sure that, I will do a quiz on it at the next.
Multiple choice? Multiple choice? Are you done?
Yes,
So I wanted to ask if there should be, changes. Are there already alternatives to accommodate those changes?
What type of changes?
Like if the request from, the federal government and the like with regards to changes, do you have already, alternatives in place to accommodate those changes?
If changes arise from guidance that the federal government gives, then we are prepared to pivot to address those changes, yes. But we'll wait and see whether changes come up.
Yeah, I ask because I, think of the situation in which if there are no, contingency plans and such changes happen, it could affect, the way you react or respond to those, requests or changes to how you normally function. So if you already have like a prepared mindset of if this happens, we could do A, B, C, Y, Z, then if it does happen, you have already been ready to accommodate those, requests.
I think a great example is when the university received COVID money, the Higher Education Emergency Relief Funds. All of a sudden, we did have to, that was a significant change in the audit process, that the government provided guidance, sort of real time, so we had to pivot. We would do the same thing this year if they were to revise their guidance. So we try to be ready for whatever. We'll see what comes.
That's good.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for the question.
Any further discussion from anyone? Any comments?
Just keep in mind, we don't have a $53 billion endowment here, so.
well,
Don't rub it in. Okay. Then if there's no further discussion, I move the approval of policy item 1B1. Do I have a second?
second.
Second. And okay, fine. So that's been approved. Thank you very much for your report. With no policy items on the calendar, we will move to the information items. I now move that this meeting convene the executive session pursuant to Article 7, Section 105C and F of the Public Officers Law to address the information item. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, that's approved.